Hey guys, it's been a while since I've made a video, and honestly I went back and forth over whether I was going to do one today, but I decided, since I already had my hair done, to actually make a video for once with my hair looking somewhat human. This is the most normal it has looked in majority of my videos so far. I just had a random feeling to do my hair for once, which means that I'm doing a bit better, at least mentally, because I was in a state where I didn't want to do anything. I didn't feel like even cooking. I didn't feel like cooking. So yeah, it's been a hectic few weeks. I don't know when this video is gonna come out, but I said in one of my previous videos that I had a toe infection, and I still said it like, oh, it was nothing. That's because I thought it was nothing. So the whole story of it basically is in December 2024, now that I think about it, not even December, late November, I remember I was trimming my toenails, and I always have a method to it. When I trim them, I file them, and I remember for some reason the nail was bothering me, so I tried cutting the inside of the nail, like on the side, the inner corner. I really tried cutting as deep as I could because I thought I was getting rid of the nail, when in actuality, and I will have a fly visiting us, bye guy, bye, I was cutting it way too short, and that caused a bunch of problems. So I cut the nail way too short, and by the beginning of December I was having pain in the toes. I couldn't walk properly, and they just kept turning like red, and it just wouldn't go away. So I was put on antibiotics that I was taking for about a week, and about 2 days into taking the antibiotics, I was rushed to hospital because it ate through my stomach lining, and they treated the pain and everything at the hospital. But then when we got home, I had to continue taking the antibiotic anyway. So I was taking the antibiotics 3 times a day, and I would have to take anti-nausea medication, antispasmodic medication, and an acid as well, to stop all of the nausea from happening, the pain from happening, to protect my gut lining, all those things. So I was on all that medication for a week, and we thought, okay, this is gonna help, this is gonna solve the situation. After the week, I was still having pain. It looked even worse. I didn't know what to do, and we started treating it with antibiotic cream, thinking that that would help the situation. And I was using an antibiotic cream for a few weeks, and then the beginning of January we went to see a surgeon to see what we do, and this guy looks at my toe for about 5 seconds and says, yeah, we need to remove the nail, both nails. So I didn't know it had gotten that bad, and I just remember I felt so angry because I thought there was a different method that we could have done. There was something else we could have done that could have stopped the infection, could have stopped the ingrowns, like something. But no, we were scheduled then in 2 days to have the nails just completely surgically removed. So I was back at hospital in 2 days, and it was insane. I absolutely hate hospitals. I've been there more times than I can count on my fingers and toes. I've been there quite a bit, so I have a lot of trauma when it comes to hospitals, and it just makes me not want to be there. So sometimes I'll have panic attacks just being at the hospital at all. So my anxiety was pretty bad coming into the whole idea of having to be in a hospital for a couple of hours, because we had a whole thing that we had planned. So I was supposed to be nil per mouth from 6 in the morning. So I woke up around 5ish, ate something so I could take my meds, meds for my stomach that I take every day. So I woke up early to do that, managed to go back to sleep, woke up again 8 o'clock, something past 9, and then we left. We were at the hospital from, let's say, around 10. We were there around 10, and I remember we were only supposed to be brought in at 11, so we had to basically sign everything and just wait for a bed, which took some time. Then I was basically told to change. I was put in the hospital clothes, which is, the hospital gown, and let's just say hospital underwear does not feel normal. It doesn't feel normal. I know it's probably different, like hospital to hospital, but it was weird. It felt so weird. Not even in a good way. It was a bad way. It was like, I felt like I was wearing a jockstrap. I felt like I was wearing that. It was so weird, because also they gave me a small size, so that also didn't help my case. But I was just so anxious being at a hospital in general that I just wanted to get it over with. I didn't even care what I was wearing. I was like, look, they're gonna take my nails off. I'm just here for the ride, guys. Just here to get this over with, get this done with, move on, and enjoy my life as best as I can without fucking toenails. Well, big toenails. But I mean, it's the big toenail. It's not like you're just taking off a small one or the pinky, or it's the big toenail. It's like, it's the showstopper. It's the one everyone notices. It's the one everyone sees. So obviously people are gonna notice if it's not there. And I had been having my toes wrapped since the 3rd of December. Like, since the freaking 3rd of December, I'd had them wrapped. So I'd already been wrapping them for weeks. And then I remember we were told, say around 12 o'clock, that I was going to go in around 1. So I thought I was going to go in at 2, because we were told that my appointment in theater was only scheduled for 2. So I was like, shit, we're going to be laying here from 11 until 2. But that wasn't the case. So we were basically told 2, but I was brought in around 1. And I was laying in the theater for a bit, doing completely nothing, just laying there. And I remember I felt so anxious. I didn't want to be there. I really didn't want to be there. I knew that the longer I was there, the more my anxiety was going to get to me. But I had to be there. I had no choice. I have a hair in my mouth. Either way, so once they were done doing whatever they were doing, because I was laying there for about 30 minutes. They came to me, the anesthesiologist spoke to me and was telling me my options, that we could have done anesthesia, but it's a pretty hectic process, and they actually put your, like, they put a tube down your nose, I think, to your, or down your mouth to your lungs. And I was like, I'm already here getting my toes invaded. I'm not gonna get my lungs invaded too. This is not a good day. This is not a good day. I'm already in a hospital. I don't want to be in a hospital. I'm already in hospital clothes that is so uncomfortable. I'm already getting my toenails removed, which is incredibly nuts. And you telling me that I might have to do a process where they put the stuff into my lungs? Yeah, no. So I was like, yeah, no. What other options are there? Because it doesn't sound like I'm gonna do this. So other option was also sedation, but normal sedation, like they knock you out, but it's obviously through intravenous. And I just remember, I don't feel like I fell asleep though, so I probably fell asleep. I probably did. I probably fell asleep. I don't know. I just remember the room spinning, and then after it was spinning, they were telling me that I need to get onto the hospital bed. So I don't know what happened there, but I just remember it was spinning so much that I was dreaming about the room spinning, and it was confusing. And the whole time I was dreaming, I was thinking to myself, why is this place spinning? I just kept thinking that to myself the entire time, like, why? And by the time I was figuring out why, I already woke up and they were putting me on the hospital bed. So yeah, it was a very strange experience. And then when they took me out of theater, I was laying again for another 30 minutes, or maybe even more. I was just laying there, and I was like in and out of consciousness. And I remember it got to a point where I was just so, I remember I was sleepy, but I was so annoyed. So I had, because of these lovely piercings of mine and the piercings here, I had to have them covered with sellotape. So my ears were covered, my nose was covered, so I looked funny, and I had these things on me that they put on you for EKG or heart monitor, or same thing, whatever. So I just remember in my sleep, I was so annoyed that I first took the sellotape off, because I was like, no, I did not want to risk my piercings having any breakouts or anything because of these pieces of tape. So I was like, I'm taking these off. So I first took those off, and then I passed out, and then I woke up again and I was a bit out of it, and then I was like, I hate the stickers that's on me from the EKG thing. So I took those off, and then I passed out again, and then I woke up, and I just remember I was so hungry. Like I was so hungry. I hadn't eaten since 5:45 the morning, and it was now something to 4, something past 3. And I just looked at one of the nurses and I said to her, what are we waiting for? And they said, oh, we're waiting for a nurse from the surgical ward to come fetch you. And I thought, okay. And then I waited and waited and waited, and I got hungrier and hungrier, to the point where I called the nurse again, and I was like, I'm hungry. So if we could speed this along, that would be great. Then they themselves brought me back to my surgical ward because the nurse just wasn't showing up. And this seemed to be a trend at this hospital, because then I was already in a lot of pain because the sedative had worn off. So my toes were already wrapped. I could barely feel them, but then once the sedative wore off, I could feel them. I could feel all the pain, like it was there. I couldn't escape it. So I remember we asked the nurses if we could get some pain medication since I already had the IV in my arm. We probably asked about 3 nurses and no one brought pain medication. And by the 4th nurse, they brought tablets. And we were confused because we were like, we already have an IV in, you might as well just do it intravenously because my gut is very sensitive right now. I've been on antibiotics. They gave me an antibiotic through the intravenous when I was in theater for my toes, and I was going to be on antibiotics from that day as I would go home to treat the toe as well. So they gave Panados. I was in so much pain, and they brought me Panados. I mean, how clueless do you have to be? I mean, Panados. So anyway, I didn't take it. I told them to take the damn IV out of my arm since it was clearly there for jokes. It was only there for the sedative and that antibiotic, and that was pretty much it. So they took it out. I changed. And then I had about 40 antibiotic tablets that I had to take. And I had to take about 6 a day, which was insane. I had to take 2 at a time with 2 pain tablets at a time. So what I would actually take altogether 3 times a day was the antibiotic, pain medication, and a probiotic. And then the day came where my spasms kicked in. And boy, oh boy, was that a shit day. It kicked in around the afternoon, and I was pissed off. I was absolutely pissed off. Because I knew that this antibiotic was going to get me somehow. I knew it. And so we did everything. I started sleeping with a hot water bottle on my stomach, even though it was freaking hot. Like hot weather. I started sleeping with an antibiotic. I started sleeping with my hot water bottle because the antibiotics were starting to really hurt my stomach. So that night we got more antacid medication, anti-nausea medication, and an antispasmodic. So I was taking all of that with the medication I was already taking, and I took this for about 7 or 8 days. Could be less, I can't remember. So that was my life for a couple of days, for a week and a few days. And I don't know how I got through that. I don't know. I just remember I was sleeping the day away all the time because the medication made me so weak that all I could do was sleep. So I was laying on the bed the entire time. Couldn't walk because it hurt like shit. And eventually, after the medication, I was able to walk little by little. And even as I'm recording this right now, I still don't have toenails. Big toenails. Still don't have them. I'm able to walk now, but I can't push my luck. And I have to go for my checkup appointment with the doctor in a few days. just to make sure that there's no infection, to make sure that everything's healing properly. And classes are starting soon with studies, so by the time this comes out, I'm already probably halfway into my final year of studies, so I'm looking forward to it. I know there's gonna be a lot of work to do this year, but the only thing I'm concerned about is the walking, because I'm not used to walking that much anymore ever since having my big toenails removed. So I'm just concerned about that. That's the only part that's concerning. But who knows? Maybe I was able to walk on campus and be perfectly fine. But we will have to see. I'll find out from the doctor if I'll have to wrap my toes when I do wear socks and shoes. I haven't worn tackies in... Let's see, I'm recording this video in January, end of January. I haven't worn tackies since the end of November 2024. I haven't worn tackies. So I've missed that, Don't know what that's like anymore. I tried wearing them with the wrapping on my toes, but I couldn't. It hurt too much. So, wish me luck. I will obviously update you guys if anything else happens, but these videos are all scheduled. So, the reason why I'm scheduling them is because of classes. I don't want it to get in the way of my studies. I still want to make content for you guys. I know I have Skyrim videos coming out every week. Hope you guys have been enjoying them so far. It was a lot of fun to make them. And yeah, pray that by the time this video comes out, I have toenails. Big toenails back. I really hope so. So maybe I'll look back on this video and be like, that was back when she didn't have big toenails and now she does, so who knows. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to that news where I have big toenails again. It sounds so dumb, but I'm looking forward to it. And thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.